Hello and welcome to the Service Professionals Podcast. I'm your host, Karissa, and my guest today is Marissa Avalos. Marissa is a fourth-year apprentice with EMC Mechanical Services out of Richmond, Virginia. To celebrate National Apprenticeship Week, we are featuring Marissa to discuss women in trades and her journey through her apprenticeship so far. Thank you for joining me today, Marissa.
Not a problem at all. I'm very excited to be here.
That's great. So one of the things that I find the most fascinating about you, Marissa, is the fact that you're currently completing an engineering degree at the same time as completing your HVAC apprenticeship program. So I'm really looking forward. I'm really looking forward to speaking with you today to find out more about your unique experiences. So to start things off, how about you start by telling us a little bit about yourself and how you decided on this career path?
Just a little bit about me. I am currently 20 years old. Like you said, I'm in my fourth year of my apprenticeship. I have been working at EMC Mechanical Services since August of 2019, so I've been there for quite a while now. I also started my engineering degree the summer of 2020, so that has also just been kind of a folding on top of each other's situation. The way I got into the trade, firstly, my dad used to take me to work with him all the time. He is a small HVAC handy repairman. So he more specializes in residential and small commercial refrigeration. And so when he would take me around, I just thoroughly enjoyed looking at something that has a problem and figuring out a way to fix it. So that also inspired the engineering side of my interests that I have. And so when I got to high school, I had the very interesting and awesome opportunity to attend a technical center my junior year of high school. So I applied for the HVAC program and I got in. And from there, if you do well in the class, then you get to pass on to interview day, where different companies around the city will come and interview the students, and hopefully you get a job offer. I was actually the last person to receive a job offer in my class, and I felt a little defeated, but I am eternally grateful to EMC's hiring people for taking a chance on me, and I've been here for a little over 3 years now, so I think I have proved myself to be a little bit worthy of being there.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's great. I love that you were able to take part in that program in your high school. And I also think it's great that you had your parents' support and encouragement from such an early age to get involved in this career path. And, it's not necessarily a female dominated career path. So I think it's great that you had that support and encouragement early on. And I love that you just went for it in high school. That's great. I guess to kick things off then, could you explain to us what a day in the life of Marissa looks like as an HVAC apprentice?
So days at EMC Mechanical Services start at 7:30 in the morning. I like to show up extra bright and early because just like to be on top of things. I have just recently been able to be in a van by myself, which has definitely changed the routine a little bit. So I still have to go to the office and pick up my EMC company vehicle. I head to my coordinator, and she typically tells me what I'm going to be doing, if it's like a small repair or a couple of small repairs throughout the day, or if I'm just going to be doing essentially maintenances. And so I will just go through my day. If it's maintenances are what I tend to specialize in, and small spaces, because I am 5'1.5". And so the guys tend to volunteer me or voluntold me for small space repairs. For example, one time I had to re-insulate a condensate line that was in the very corner of an A-frame of a sports building. So no one else could fit back there but me. So my days in maintenances would go of like ensuring that all electrical connections are okay, that there's no electrical heat damage, making sure that the unit is running up to par to the best of its ability, changing filters, and we have a tasking, just like a bunch of sheets of paper that tell me every unit that we take care of and all the things that I'm required to do to complete the maintenance. once a week is when I get to fully dedicate myself to my online SP Academy apprenticeship. I would just spend my 8 hours just going through everything, doing all the readings, the quizzes, the flashcards, the simulations. And the simulations tend to be my favorite part because they are the most interactive and they correspond most to what I would see on my day-to-day on the job.
That's amazing. I love all of that. I love that you're enjoying the simulations and you're finding the connection between that and being in the field. That's so great to hear. So if your day is pretty well consumed with a lot of the maintenance side of things and studying for your apprenticeship, are there any, I guess, can you explain the pros and cons involved in your typical day?
Yes. Pros, I like that I can call just about anybody in our service department and they would give me a hand on if I'm confused on anything. Oddly enough, like everybody's very supportive. And EMC is connected with the Woodfin family of companies, so it genuinely feels like a family when we're all there. And a lot of them see me as like their little sister or their kid. So they're all very helpful to me, which is very nice. The cons is that I am a girl and very tiny, so I get to be put in those small spaces, which can be very uncomfortable. If you're claustrophobic, it's not that great for you. I guess I don't really have too many cons other than sometimes customers can be a little bit undermining since I am now going out by myself. A lot of them are like, "How old are you?" and questions like that. But I encourage everybody to not be discouraged by statements or questions like that because at the end of the day, I can always call my supervisors if I have a problem with a customer. And our job is to keep the customer happy. So I do the best to my ability, and if I need some help, the help is always there for me. So I don't have any true complaints about it.
That's good to hear. And it's true. I mean, I think with any position that you're going to go into, especially, you know, coming right out of school, being a younger person, I think a lot of people might be faced with that, unfortunately, but that's great advice for anybody, male or female, going into their apprenticeship program. You know, you just got to stick to it and stick to what's important, and that's the customer, and everything will be just great. Like you said, you've got the support. You can call anybody. So that's amazing. Is there anybody in particular that stands out as being the most influential so far in your apprenticeship journey?
Yes. One of my coworkers, his name is Daryl Griffin. He is actually currently our control supervisor. He does mostly the building automation stuff, the installing of wires and sensors throughout a person's building so that they can eventually, once everything is all hooked up, they could pull everything up on a computer screen to see, like, is this unit running? I want this unit running only on the weekends because we don't occupy that part of the building until the weekends. So he is very knowledgeable. He's been in the field for, I think, a little over 25 years. So he has a lot of experience on his resume, and he has definitely taken me under his wing to teach me as much as I can, especially since he thinks the building automation side will benefit me a lot in college.
Absolutely, it would. Yeah. I mean, so many businesses are going that way with the smart buildings and everything being automated. So that's definitely going to be impactful for the engineering degree that you're doing. You're doing construction, correct?
Yes.
Yes. So that's amazing. I love that you have that support and you have that person you can reach out to and is really taking you on all those job sites to walk you through everything. That's so great to have. I think it's so important for everybody who's an apprentice to have that go-to mentor. It really does make things so much better throughout the whole process. Yes. So that's great. Is there anything so far in your apprenticeship program that you've learned or that you've been taught that you weren't expecting going into this?
I don't want to say everything, but a good portion of everything. The little world that I existed with my father from a young age is completely different to what I'm introduced to at EMC, because EMC is more like commercial industrial systems. And so when I was in my first year of apprenticeship, which was when I was in high school at the trade center, I don't know, I just never thought about working on large chillers and cooling towers, large commercial refrigerators, and the going through the SP Academy as well. Like, I think SP Academy does a very good job of covering everything in the book. I'm more of a book person, not a video person. So reading through the book and then thinking to myself in the field, even though I don't always get the opportunity to do something very big, when I am finally there, I don't feel afraid or intimidated by it. Because a lot of the time I'm walking up to pieces of equipment that are significantly bigger than I am. Like, I could make an apartment in some of the units that we work in. So I think it's very beneficial, the academy, and then seeing the big units.
That's great to hear. Yes, the programs that have been put together by all the HVAC specialists that we have on staff here for the academy have been great, and they do bring a lot of experience combined. So that's amazing that you're getting so much out of that. And I love that you have the commercial industrial side as well as the residential side from your dad. You're very well-rounded, and I think that in your program at university, you've already got, your leaps and bounds ahead of a lot of your peers who aren't going through this program. So I think that that's absolutely amazing. Have there been any, I guess, misconceptions that you've heard about the apprenticeship program that you could kind of debunk for us?
I guess kind of like the academic side, like even if we aren't specifically talking about your SP Academy, I think a lot of people say that sometimes sitting down in the classes can be incredibly boring. But to me, just in my opinion, since I also just love school, it's not boring at all. If you truly put your interest at heart, like towards what you are learning, I think that really helps you to not feel bored throughout the classes or anything like that. There are so many resources once you arrive there, and nobody's gonna put you down for anything that you do not know. If you apply yourself to fully learn something, like so that you don't have to constantly ask the same question, nobody's gonna judge you for what you don't know, as long as you are putting forth the effort to learn something as well.
I think that's great for everybody to hear, right? Because there may be some people that might be a little apprehensive to take part in an apprenticeship program. So that's great to know that as long as you're there and willing to learn, everybody's there willing to help. So I think that that's great. And what's been your most enjoyable aspect of this process so far?
The most enjoyable part. I think the most enjoyable part is that I am in a different place just about every day. Yes, sometimes you can get stuck on a job for weeks at a time, but I think you never really get bored once you're out in the field. And the apprenticeship program every year, I think it also teaches you something different, like when it comes to soft skills. So I also think that is also an enjoyable part, that you're not just walking up to a piece of equipment. Like, you also meet so many new people and go to many different places, and that's probably the most enjoyable part for me, because I like to be moving around. And sometimes they send us to very far areas, and I enjoy the drive as well. And so it's just, there are different parts that people enjoy the most. Some people, I think, in their most enjoyable part is the fact that they are fixing something, and some people's most enjoyable part is just installing things and seeing the way that they work. So
that's great. It sounds like, you're really enjoying all aspects of it. So that's great to hear. What do you think would be the most important thing to focus on when getting women involved in the trades?
I think the best advice that I could give is that it takes just one. When I originally joined the EMC and Woodfin family of companies, I don't think there was like a single girl that was there. I think now there is a female that is in the construction side, so not the service side, and she is a supervisor. And there is another young lady that she has joined the Woodfin team of residential, and I think she's the only girl on the service team as well. My face has been out there trying to motivate other young students to join technical centers. And even though I think at this point only 2 more girls have been through the apprenticeship program that I went through originally. The thing is, there's no reason to be afraid, and there's no better feeling than knowing something that your male coworker doesn't know.
Yeah, it's really nice to see more and more women getting involved, but for sure, there's still work to be done. Absolutely. So hopefully, in those high school programs that you're talking about and joining up for those programs early on, hopefully more women start to get more involved, because it is a really great career path for women as well.
Yeah, yes, it is.
Mm-hmm. To kind of take it a little bit more personal, just to kind of start wrapping things up here, what are you looking forward to the most in your career?
I think in the end, what I am most excited for is to finish my engineering degree and to bring my knowledge of being in the field to those professional environments. There are some times that I work with my coworkers and the words "I hate engineers" comes up. And so I just want to advance far enough in my career that I can start making some small changes that I think will make the service side a lot happier. I personally just was excited originally to do building plans, like the mechanical side of industrial buildings. But I'm just excited to see where life takes me. I have no specific requirements at this point for where my career takes me. If EMC takes me back once I am a graduated engineer, that's wonderful. I love the company, but I'm open to any doors.
Well, you have a lot. So you've got a lot of different avenues that you could go down. So I love that you've set yourself up for so much potential moving forward. That's very exciting for you, very exciting for EMC, very exciting for us. I think it's fantastic. Do you have any final thoughts or additional information that you'd like to discuss?
I guess the only thing that I have to say is just to not have any fear. If you are there to learn, everything will be just fine. Thankfully, we're in a world that a lot of HVAC companies are willing to teach these young kids that are coming up, and I think we just need to trust in that. And if you find a friend that is interested in doing something new and different, and the trade can take you very far, and people can become supervisors if you don't just want to be in the field all the time. There's so many different positions that we could be in, and so even if you're not sure what your specific niche is in the HVAC community, I assure you that you will find it once you get here.
That's amazing. Yes, I agree with you 100%. There's so many different avenues that you could take in so many different roles, from sales to operations to service management. There's so many different roles within HVAC that don't necessarily have to be on the tools or in engineering. So I think that that's a very good point. Well, we're very excited to see where you take your career. And I thank you so much for joining me today. And I'm sure we'll definitely be in touch moving forward. And I hope that anyone listening today got a lot out of this. I'm sure they did. And I'm sure that down the road, whatever path you decide to take, you're going to be a great motivator for young people looking to get into the trades, or young women looking to join the trades. So we're very proud of you here, and very excited to see where you take your career. So yeah, thank you so much for your time. And thank you to everybody who tuned in today. And just be sure to take a look at our website to learn more about SP Academy and how it can maybe help some other people out that are looking to get into the trades. So thank you so much, Melissa. I appreciate your time.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.